Okay.
The date is the
September 20th.
September 20th, 2011. This is further to my protest concerning the justice system in Manitoba. My name is John Harapiak. I was a candidate for the NDP St. Rose constituency in 2003, a member of the RCMP for 27 years, and a member of Dakota Ojibwe Police Services for 2.5 years, and a former business owner. I protested as a retired member of the RCMP Red Serge on the grounds of the Manitoba Legislative Buildings on September 13th, 2010 as well, and as of May 2011 in Brandon, seeking justice. In August 2005, I had a number of serious allegations brought against me. After my court hearing in 2007, I received an acquittal and an absolute discharge. On these allegations, therefore, no criminal record. As a result of these false allegations, I was terminated as a peace officer, lost 2 funeral businesses, and was defamed to the point of disbelief, where I was unable to obtain employment until 2008. The court in 2007 advised that evidence was tampered with by the Crown witnesses. That means that evidence was planted by Crown witnesses with the full knowledge of the RCMP and the Crown prosecutors. The documents I received from the RCMP concerning this case against me clearly showed that not only the RCMP aware of this tampering of evidence, on the evening of my arrest, so were 2 Crown attorneys along with Manitoba Justice. Even with this knowledge, I was unlawfully committed under the Mental Health Act and spent 3 days in this facility. And upon leaving there, I was unlawfully arrested and spent 5 days in solitary confinement in a provincial jail due to my status as a police officer. And it is to be known that even the guards at the institution were concerned for my safety because of my status of police officer. The documentation received from the RCMP and the Freedom of Information Act clearly showed that the collusion between the RCMP, Crown witnesses, and Manitoba Justice to convict me. This arrested and false arrest, tampering of evidence, perjury, obstruction, and breaking into my residence, seizing my personal effects for a probable cause. For example, the information to obtain a warrant to enter my residence was in the name of Michael Lee Klein, not my name. And yet the RCMP searched this residence, seized all my property, and this property has never been returned. When I requested the RCMP conduct an investigation to my allegation, they advised me that my allegations were unfounded and therefore did not pursue any criminal charges against Crown witnesses, RCMP members, or Crown attorneys. However, in an email from the lead investigator to his superiors, he advised that he did not review all the allegations regarding my criminal allegations, nor was he directed to do so. In other words, he just told me that my allegations were unfounded without doing a proper investigation. The only way that this member, the investigating member, can determine if my allegations were correct, and this is in regards to the perjury and obstruction of justice, was read the transcripts. He didn't. And yet I was advised that my allegations were unfounded. And this crystal ball approach to policing how the RCMP actually investigates criminal allegations made by the public. I believe that justice has been denied to protect those of authority and Crown witnesses. In other words, in Manitoba, if you lodge a complaint against an RCMP member as it stands now, your complaint will not be investigated, but you will be advised that your allegations were unfounded. Due to this, I attempted to proceed via private prosecution through the courts with approximately 70 criminal allegations against the RCMP, 2 Crown prosecutors, and Crown witnesses. The Crown Attorney, or the Attorney General office, stayed these allegations, and when I asked the representative from the Attorney General's office, Mr. Daryl Harvey, who was a senior prosecutor at the time, why my charges were stayed, his reply was, "I do not to tell you. This, in my view, is a conflict of interest, a breach of trust, and yet the NDP and Manitoba Justice condone this type of activity, which in my view is criminal activity." it is my view that the only way to receive any type of justice is to go public in this matter with my allegations, and it would appear that this government's policy is to protect those in authority, that being the RCMP, Crown prosecutors, then to ensure that justice is being served to all Manitobans. It is noted to be some of the members involved, that's the RCMP members involved in this case, have been promoted in the ranks of the RCMP, and one Crown prosecutor in this matter is now a Court of Queen Bench judge. Even when these allegations were brought forward by myself, it is apparent to me that the federal government continues to allow appointments to the judiciary even after complaints have been lodged to them, as in my case. The public should be contacting Mr. Greg Sellinger and Mr. Andrew Swan and management of the RCMP to contradict my allegations. I've requested on a number of occasions to meet with Mr. Sellinger when he was the Premier, Mr. Swan when he was the Minister of Justice prior to the election, and they declined my request. What do they have to hide? Please support me in this request for public inquiry by contacting all provincial parties in this election. For those who are not in Manitoba, this provincial election, the election date is the 4th of October 2011. And I also was in contact with Joyce Milgaard, who was familiar with this case, and she's given me direction to continue on with this Red Serge Protest. She has all the documents and is out of country at the present time, but has given me strength and courage to carry on protesting at the courthouse in Brandon, which I'll do at this time. Thank you.